Okay, we're back. Had a little edit to do on the chart today because I've just developed the kind of organized these 5 waves. But remember, keep in mind they're going to have the same solution, either 724 or 7246 in the root numbering system. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 2, 4, 6. Okay. I mean, I've been able to renumber them within the modal system as was suggested by some teachers online. People who post free videos. And I did that, developing an offset, and just went right back to the same numbering system just with an offset. Right? So we did that. We've done those, and they're in different playlists. What I suggest you do is just embrace each lesson for what it is. Get into it, because that's music is always just the spark of the moment. Where are you going? Where was the spark? Where are you going from there? Okay. So the first method is by lowering each note in the root major seventh by 1 scale degree, the half diminished seventh chord is realized. Remember, in the key of C, the B, or the seventh, is the root of the seventh mode. So that one's kind of a double agent there, right? So we're going to take the 7 to the 6. The 6 is going to be within the playable. So we're going to have basically root 3, 5, 7, root 3, 5, 7, and then we're just going to lower everything 1 scale degree. Same chord shape on the white keys, down 1. Just like that, same chord shape. Piano players are good at that. So, but you don't have your hands get too stiff, Anyway, it takes a little getting used to playing on a piano that's a different size or different action. So, long story short, we're going to be looking at the 4, the 7, the 6, 7. So it's 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4. Right there, it counts. So that's the minus C shape. Here's the C shape. 3, 5, root 3, 5, root 3, 5. That's the C arpeggio. Here's the minus C shape. 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Here, this 7 is doubled to 4. Don't worry about doubling. It's there so you can access it if you have, if you want to. Even if you have your capo here on the 3rd, you can still go up to this 7 here. 4, 7, 2 right there. Okay, if you go like this, you got 4, 6, 2. Okay, which is a first inversion to minor chord. So that's the first method, is just lower everything by 1. So the 5 goes to the 4, the root goes to the 7, the 3 goes to the 2, okay, and now we have the 7, the double agent could be white, and it would go to what? To the 6. So root goes to the 7, the 7 goes to the 6. That's how to find the half diminished chord. But that's just to know where the notes are. Doesn't mean you're going to play it that way, but just look where they end up. Look at the shape. There's what looks like a D shape here, kind of a D shape there, and maybe a little zigzag shape there. These are shapes to start to get used to. Okay, and in the A box, we could go that way, horizontal, but we're going to go vertical because I need to get you on to the other methods. Another method is half-diminished mode is equal to all notes that are not the root triad notes. Half-diminished equals major not. So what does that mean? That means here's your root triad notes, 3, 5 root, 3, 5 root, 3, 5 in the C cage here. All the other notes that have a number on them, and the others are accidentals. In the key of C, they would be actual black keys, right? All the other numbers are the triad. They are 7, 2, 4, and 6. So, in other words, if we're not playing 3 notes, we're playing the other 4, because there's only 7 notes in a scale. If we're not playing 4 notes, we're only playing the other 3. So where are those 4 notes? 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4. So right there's that D shape we were talking about. And then also we have that zigzag same shape that we've achieved by a different method. This is the method of playing all notes that are not in the root triad. Just all of the notes. All of them. So here's your root triad, right? The notes that are not in the root triad are like the 4, okay, the 6, the 7, because we're talking triads, so the 6th of the root of the Ionian isn't there. Here's your 6, 7, 2, and 4. So we're ending up with the same shape. Let's look at another method and so see how we come up with the same shape. So no matter what somebody says to you, do this, do that, do the other thing, it's going to land on the same shape, half-diminished. 2 minor plus the 7th of the Ionian, which is the 7th. Okay, that's the 7 mode we're talking about. But it's your 2 minor. So in the C box, the 2 minor is D minor shaped, and we just add the 7 there. So now our shape that we're looking for, the little D shape here and the little zigzag shape here, good thing we did go vertically because we are recognizing the same shape. If we went horizontally, we'd be dealing with 5 different shapes, perhaps 10, because there's 2, a top and a bottom one, and guess what, the wife is home. So we'll just be finishing this segment and then continuing the lesson next time. Okay, while she's out getting the second bag of groceries, another method which is I'm excited about is taking the dominant 5th mode based in the Ionian numbering system. So 5 is going to be the root of that chord, and moving that 5 to a 4 or a 6, okay, because the dominant 7th chord is 5, 7, 2, 4, okay. If we strip off the 5, we're left with 7, 2, 4. So that's that method. And here's our zigzag here, and here's our D shape there. Okay, last, the diminished triad 7, 2, 4 is equal to the notes that are not in the minor 6th and the Aeolian 7th. The only chords, the notes that are not in that are the diminished out of the 7 scale members. So we've got, but here we don't have the 6 because we're only isolating the 7, 2, 4. There's our D.